Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're looking at a very useful lens mount adapter. It's from K&F CONCEPT and it's the EF/EFS mount adapter. That's Canon lenses, Canon EF/EFS lenses to the Sony E-mount system. And I've actually got it fitted to an old Canon 10-18 EFS lens. And it's a great adapter. I really like this adapter. I was a bit skeptical at first, only because I've used the Sigma MC11 adapter in the past. The K&F one is producing better results than the Sigma MC11 adapter. That kind of surprised me actually, and you know, so and I'll tell you why in just a moment actually. But so I don't use that one anymore. I always use now the K&F CONCEPT adapter. It's nicely made. In fact, it's very well made. It's made out of metal, really good construction. And I like actually the aesthetic of the ring, the gold colour sort of ring, orangey gold colour ring around the adapter, but kind of mimics the Sony E-mount colours. So I think that's quite nice, I really do. All metal construction, so it's really good. It has a USB port inside for actually plugging into your computer to update the firmware as and when K&F CONCEPT create firmware updates for it. That's quite useful. Then you've got all your metal contacts inside there, which transmits the EXIF data, it transmits the aperture, shutter speed, autofocus and image stabilization from the lens. So you're not really losing anything using this adapter. As I say, I was skeptical. I'm going to show you a few snaps I've taken in and around town in my garden with a couple of different lenses I've used with this adapter. Now, a lot of people would ask, why would you bother even using an adapter? What would be the point of it? Now, the biggest point is, if you're upgrading, say for example, you've got, you know, a Canon DSLR, an old DSLR possibly, but you've got 2 or 3, maybe even more lenses, Canon EFS lenses or EF lenses, and you want to invest in the Sony E-mount system, but you haven't got the funds immediately available to invest in new lenses. Well, this adapter is really cost effective to be able to use those older Canon lenses on your Sony E-mount body. And I think that's a really great idea. Now, what's really clever about this particular adapter is that it will take the EF and the EFS lenses. Now that's where the Sigma fell down. The Sigma only works, well, it's originally designed to only work with Sigma lenses, so that really narrows your field right down. And it only works, as I found at my cost, it only works with Canon EF lenses. So if you try to fit an EFS lens on here, it won't fit, so you can't use them. Now, some people are now going to ask, what is the difference? Well, your EF lenses, I've got a 40mm EF lens here, was originally designed for Canon full frame DSLRs. So it's a slightly different fitting to the mount with the full frame bodies as it is with the APS-C bodies. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that for a long time. I mean, obviously I know that now. Now the EF lenses have a red dot on them, which I guess signifies that it's an EF mount. So that's a full frame lens as opposed to a crop sensor lens, where the crop sensor lenses have a white dot on them and they mount slightly differently. So when you're using an adapter, you need an adapter that will take both the EF and the EFS lenses, and I think that is great. So because I have both, you see, I've got the 10-18, which is an APS-C lens that's designed for the crop sensor cameras, and I also have a few EF lenses, which is your full frame lenses. And they'll both mount, because on the adapter it's got 2 mount settings, 2 different positions for mounting these lenses. So if you look on the back here, you've got a red and a white dot on there. So there's the white dot, you probably can't see that clearly, and then there's the red dot. So you just line up the dot depending on what lens you're using, and that's what makes this adapter so valuable. You can adapt either or, so you can use your EFS lenses, you can use your EF lenses, and I've found Well, I think it's my imagination, I don't know. But I found the quality and the sharpness better on my Sony E-mount body than I did on my Canon bodies. Now that is probably not the case, but that's what I found. I did use the Sony A7C, the original A7C, for the test with the 40mm full frame lenses. So if we look at, that's the 40mm lens, beautiful sharpness, really nice colours, everything is really nice about it. And also, as I say, it is transmitting all the EXIF information. You can see here, it says on here 40mm K&F CONCEPT EF 40mm f2.8 STM lens. So this lens adapter is transmitting all the information from the lens through to the camera body, and that's very useful and very good. So let's just mount it. So what we do, line up the white dots as that fits there like that, and then that is now nicely fitted, doesn't take up a lot of space, also it's not very heavy. And then if we mount the full frame lens, let's mount the APS-C lens. So basically, actually that's a bit silly really, because it's a full frame body. So let's stick the 40mm lens on. So you just really line up the red dot of the lens to the red dot on the adapter, and then that fits there, that's on there nicely, that's perfect. And then if we look at turning it on, let's take it off of iAuto, and then you can see there it is, absolutely fine. Focus speed is pretty reasonable. It's not mega fast, but that again, the mileage of that will vary depending on what lenses you're using. Also, the end quality you get will depend on the glass you fitted to your camera body. If you're using cheap lenses, you're going to get a poorer result. But I found with the 40mm and with my 10-18, the focus was pretty decent, to be honest. So the autofocus is really good, absolutely fine. You can either use, I tend to use spot focus. I use that a lot of times actually. But with this particular, these shots I was taking, I didn't. I left it in fully automatic. I let the camera decide where the focus point was going to be. I didn't get any hunting. It went straight to the focus point and I took the photograph. So I did find it worked really, really well. Now let's put my camera down, find somewhere to put it. Also, actually in the box, it did come with, quite a nicely packaged box. Nothing exciting, it's just a box. I don't do unboxings. Obviously a manual, and it comes with a USB-C lead to be able to update the firmware of the adapter. As I said, as and when K&F CONCEPT do firmware updates for it. So, really, really nice, sharp. The colours are lovely. The clarity is really good. Now these images will be up on my up on my Flickr page. So I'll leave a link in the description where you can find them on Flickr. It's well worth looking at them there rather than here, because I'm only flicking through them rather than going into any detail. Yeah, colours are really good. Vibrant, contrast is good. Everything about the adapter is great. I really like the adapter. As I say, I was sceptical at first, but don't need to be now. I think it's a great product. I've been using a lot of K&F products. So they've sent me a few for review. I've been buying quite a few of their stuff. I do like their products. I think they're great value for money. I've got a variable ND filter here that I purchased fairly recently. And it's nice that it comes in a little pouch. Keeps it nice and clean, keeps it in good nick, and also like the way that it actually works. It's a really, really nice ND filter with a lever there for actually adjusting the ND. And I like the variable ones because you haven't got to keep messing around with lots of different filters. And I found the quality of this filter to be very, very good. And that's why I reached out to K&F to see if they would be able to send me the adapter. They actually sent me this adapter for free. I've not had to purchase it, but I think K&F stuff is really, really good. I like it a lot. So yeah, that's the adapter, but the results are great. Now that's the 40mm on a full frame body, even in mixed lighting. It's still, it found the focus, no problem. fully automatic, and again you can see here in the EXIF information that was on the 40mm lens with a K&F CONCEPT adapter. You can see it clearly that it says it there. You can tell you can tell that it is a Sony RAW file by up there. It's a .arw file. Now let's have a quick look at the 10 to 18 lens. These were the 10 to 18s were taken in my garden. And again, this is an APS-C lens as opposed to the full frame lens. That was this lens here. So I used this one, that's the Canon 10 to 18. I used this one on my Sony A6700. So that was a little bit of a challenge in a sense to the adapter, because the 6700 is their latest camera and it's got the 26 megapixel sensor in. So if there was going to be any issues with it, it would have shown up with that particular camera. But the autofocus was fast, it was snappy. I had no issues with using it at all. In fact, I'd be more than happy going out with it. And I did find, again, the images came out really nice. And I think, you know, it's probably my imagination, but I think they came out better on the Sony body than they did on the Canon body, which is really bizarre. Certainly wasn't expecting that. But yeah, that's the 10 to 18. And for a cheap lens, I mean, it is a cheap lens. You know, you can't expect miracles, but it's actually pretty damn decent. I mean, look at that. Colours, sharpness. That was shot in poor light. All of these were shot in poor light. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, great product, and as I say, ideal for those that have, you know, some Canon EF/EFS lenses. You want to get into the Sony E-mount system, but you don't want to buy new lenses initially. You can use this adapter because the adapter is not expensive, but as it transmits all the information, including your EXIF information for your photographs, your aperture speed, aperture and everything else. The only thing I have noticed, which is exactly the same with the Sigma MC11, that does exactly the same, and also with the Viltrox adapters, they don't work in autofocus in video. Now, I think that must be a limitation to what Sony have put in their cameras. I'm sure it must be. The fact that all these adapters don't work with autofocus in video. Now, whether or not there's going to be a firmware update for that, again, it's great. There is, you know, the availability to be able to update the firmware on this adapter. But at the moment, unless somebody else can tell me what I'm doing wrong, but at the moment I haven't found the autofocus to work in video. You have to use manual focus. You can still use the lenses on the body, but you will need to use manual focus to get that to work. But if you're a still shooter, far more than you are a video shooter, this adapter is awesome. And saying it fits quite nicely, it's not too big. And that's on an A7C, the original A7C. Be much the same on the A6700. I can't show you it on the A6700 because I'm filming my close-up shot on my A6700, and I've got fitted to that today. The Sigma 18 to 50 f2.8 lens is fitted to that today. My wide shot is being picked up on my Panasonic S5, and I've got the 20 to 60 kit lens fitted to it. I've got a wide shot there being picked up on my Sony ZV-E10, and that's got the Sony 11mm lens fitted to it. And I'm playing around with my iPhone 15 Pro, recording externally using ProRes. That's recording externally to an SSD drive, and I think that is great as well. I like the idea of that. I'm still having issues with skin tones with my 15 Pro though, certainly shooting indoors. I don't know what you guys and gals think, but I think the skin tones are not quite right, but I need to do more experimenting with that. And obviously the close-up shots are being filmed on my ZV-1, my little Sony ZV-1. So yeah, that's the K&F CONCEPT EFS/EF mount adapter to Sony E-mount. I would really like to thank K&F CONCEPT for sending me this adapter for review. Really, really appreciate that. And if you want to see more videos relating to video, photography, podcasting, so on and so forth, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. That really does help me grow the channel, and I would really, really appreciate that. So thanks very much. Cheers for now. Bye.